Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can donate to my ministry and the charities that I support at garethcahoon3@gmail.com on PayPal. This one here is about France. If France gets any more anti-Semitic, it'll blow my mind, because France in the past, now I'm not talking about 10 years ago, I'm talking about 78 years ago when Israel was made a state, and even before that and after it, France has stood as the biggest enemy of Israel. The only one that would probably beat them would be Hitler's Third Reich, Turkey under Erdogan, and Iran and Russia. But France has its own problems with Muslim illegal immigrants and illegal immigrants who have come to the country and changed the very fabric of its society. And even when they were playing a football match the other night, their team, France's team, won, and they tore the city apart, setting fires all over the place. At one stage it looked like the Eiffel Tower was going to go up in smoke, all because they won. You'd hate to see what happened if they lost, wouldn't you? But France has been overtaken with immigrants to the country, and I believe that this is what happens when a nation or a people turn their backs on Jerusalem, but not only turn their backs on them, but cause them to be denigrated and castigated and boycotted. And this is what France has done in a recent Expo that they had on defense tech. Now, Israel is one of the biggest defense tech industry in the world, and some of the best tech in the world. So France banning Israel really is kicking themselves up the backside. But yes, France has bans official Israeli participation at major Paris Defense Expo. France has once again barred official Israeli participation at the Eurosatory International Defense Exhibition in Paris later this month, preventing Israel Defense Ministry representatives from attending or establishing a national pavilion at one of the world's premier defense expos. It won't be premier for much longer. While private Israeli defense firms will still be permitted to exhibit air defense and missile defense technologies, French authorities have banned the display of Israeli-made offensive weapon systems. The Expo's website also lists Palestine among the invented participants, which is a joke. What have they invented? Terror tunnels? The move marks the latest sign of deteriorating relations between Paris and Jerusalem and has drawn sharp criticism from Israeli officials who argue the restrictions are politically motivated and unfairly target Israel while limiting its access to major international defence marketplace. Speaking on condition of anonymity, an Israeli official assessed the French decision as an escalation and a worsening of French policy. It remains unclear whether Israel will respond by boycotting the exhibition altogether. The Israeli Defense Ministry blasted the move, describing it as a disgraceful decision that reeks of political and commercial calculation. Regrettably, it comes as no surprise, the Defense Ministry in Tel Aviv said. It fits a deeply troubling pattern in French conduct in recent years, a pattern that has considerably placed France on the wrong side of history. France, which prides itself on the values of liberty and democracy, which is a joke and a half, is acting in direct contradiction to the principles it claims to uphold, the ministry added. The Israeli Foreign Ministry and Israel's ambassador to France have reportedly already been notified, and Jerusalem is expected to issue a formal response in the coming days. Relations between France and Israel have steadily worsened since the October 7th, 2023 attack on Israel, but they weren't even that great before that. While Paris initially supported Israel's right to self defense, French President Emmanuel Macron, who got a beating from his wife, uh, government has increasingly criticised Israeli military operations against the Iranian backed terrorist groups Hamas in Gaza and Hezbollah in Lebanon. Last year, France unilaterally recognised the state of Palestine despite obligations from Jerusalem, or despite objections from Jerusalem, which argued that such a move rewarded Hamas following the October 7th attack. Israeli officials suggest that the latest restrictions may not be driven solely by political disagreements. They note that Israeli defense companies compete directly with French firms in the global defense market. French Defense Minister Sebastien Lecornu rejected suggestions that France has imposed an arms embargo on Israel, arguing instead that Israel has chosen not to purchase French weapons. The reason that they decided not to purchase any more French weapons was they purchased weapons and ships from France before, and France just didn't give them to them. So Israel went in the middle of the night and sailed off with the ships from a French port because they'd already paid for them. I will repeat this as many times as is necessary. There are no French arms sales to Israel. There are none, but let's tell the truth and stop calling it an embargo. Israel is the one imposing an embargo on us. Israel does not buy French weapons because it chooses not to buy French weapons because it does not need French weapons, Lecornu stated. Lurpo Topos, who heads the Israeli Innovation Engineering Company, TAT, noted that France also restricts Israeli visibility at a major defence exhibition last year. About a year ago, the Israeli pavilions at the Paris Air Show were hidden from view, and now we are seeing a similar saga unfold once again, Topa said. He argued that French efforts to limit Israel's participation would ultimately backfire. The French government's attempt to boycott Israel by restricting its participation in the exhibition are ultimately self-defeating. Demand for Israel defense solutions continues to grow and not decline, Topa said. He emphasized the international interest in Israeli technology remains strong despite political tensions. Leading defence organisations around the world continue to seek out Israeli innovation and unique technological capabilities. And this won't end. Shalom. Aranatha.